Hey everyone, it's Brandy and you are watching Abstract Crafter. Today's video is store number 4 of 5 in Project Amazon Part 2. So if you want to see who we are going to be looking at today, then just keep on watching and we will get right into that as soon as we roll those intro credits. Why, hello again, my friends. Back to Project Amazon. We got 2 stores left. So this one will be kind of a secret, but the next one we'll already know. So it's either going to be diamond painting directly or it's going to be QC Life Store. So let's just dig in here. After this, we won't have to do this foolish little thing I got going on here. Okay, so it's going to be the only one that came bubble wrapped like this. And that just leaves one more. And that is QC Life Store. So this is diamond painting directly. And that's a really nice package. Like, it's bubble wrapped. I'll show you once we get it open. Alright, so this one was, I think, the most expensive one, or this one tied. So I had 2 that were $9.99 exactly, and I guess it's the last 2. So this was the most expensive one. So the last 3 stores before this, we did Finecase with the love story quote, and that ended up with a 9.5 out of 10. And then we had the Nanxi store with the Be-YOU-tiful quote, and that one was an 8.0, unfortunately. But then we went back to another winner with AIRDEA Direct and the Surf Shack, and that one actually ended up with a 10 out of 10. So all over right now. Now this one, let me get back to the right page. So this one had the least amount of information, and it didn't have a chart or very many pictures. It also shows up as KOTWDQ, which is something I see a lot when I'm looking for diamond paintings on Amazon. But this one really caught my eye, and oh, friends, look, our first one with DNCs. I was hoping one of them would have it. Now this one, it doesn't look like much from the chart, but let me tell you, it really caught my eye. And I'm seeing something, and I know I shouldn't mention this till the wrap up, but I just saw, look from the last video, it's got the same like branding on it, even though they're different stores, and this one has DMCs and this one doesn't. Super weird. Hey, whatever. It is what it is. This one, I named this one Dragonfly and Flowers, because we got a beautiful dragonfly up there and flowers. And when I show you the picture of this, it's so beautiful. It doesn't look like much here. And I almost didn't get this one because, as you can see, there is an extreme amount of 310. But I couldn't help myself. So again, we just got the standard kit, nothing fancy or special about that. We'll look at those diamonds in just a minute. I'm gonna lift this up while I continue to talk to you about this little painting here. So yeah, I almost didn't because, I don't know, I kind of don't like really having a lot of, plain background like that. But it won out against, I had like 7 that I was looking at. And this one went out simply because of the store name. I really wanted to order based on that. And I do believe that when I bought it, it showed as the KOTWDQ. But it actually, when it showed up, when you get your billing or it shows your orders, it said diamond painting directly. I think that's how it went. I'll let you know for sure in the wrap-up video, or in the wrap-up portion of the next video, the last video. A little bend on that corner. I don't know if I did that or if it came like that. So it's not really wanting to flatten out. It is fairly wrinkled, as you can see. The canvas is very thin, so it's very impressionable. I'm guessing I can probably just bend it back myself, but I'll probably end up ironing it just to be on the safe side. So let's test that sticky, because even though it has that same branding, it doesn't really mean much of anything, because they could order them in bulk like this, but then, you know, do their own thing, because the glue is significantly different than the last painting. It's very, very sticky. So let's get that flat all the way. Yeah, it's not going to want to stay down, but I want to insert a picture before we do any of the other stuff so that you can see what we're working with here, since this doesn't do much to show you. So I'm going to insert that right here. So yeah, to me it looked a lot like the flowers were glowing, and I'm hoping that the colors will help portray that. Otherwise, I'm gonna be really bummed. And like the Dragonfly was the only real color, I guess, in this. Otherwise it was these beautiful bright oranges and reds. Well, you saw the picture in the description, so you see what I'm talking about. Again, this is a 30 by 40. They advertised it as a 12 by 16. I'm really doubting, just based on everything, that that's going to end up measuring out. So let's do that before we look at the diamonds, just so that we can be sure. I can almost guarantee that that's 24 and a half. I'll write it down in just a sec. 24 and a half by 35. It's almost 35. I'm just gonna write 35 because it's so close to it. So again, not quite the right size, but, and they did I said, they did mention it in inches, so we'll look at that in a sec. But just to verify, make sure we got our 30 by 40 somewhere, and see that's only hitting 29 and a half. It might have been cut short, but I don't know, I can see the lines there. So definitely they didn't cut it short. They just rounded up. So 29 by 39 and a half. So yeah, they just rounded up. So it's definitely not going to hit 12 by 16. Oh. This should be the 12. Yeah, and that's 11 and 7/8, and the actual image itself is 9 and 7/8. By 13 and 7/8, or no, 7 3/4. Definitely not going to be 16. I'll try to find the actual line. No, not quite 16. 15 and 3/4. So not quite. We haven't got one yet that was measured by the picture, but what can I say? All right, let's take a look at these diamonds. So yes, very excited to actually have some DMC numbers on one of these. You can see here that it's a very muted color palette, which is not something I usually go for lately, but like I said, this painting really spoke to me. Oops. And it is 22 colors. It didn't show the chart, so I couldn't look to see if there was, you know, to get a hint on that. So let's just look at these slowly, and then we'll look at the whole color palette. So we get this very typical 224, this like almost baby rosy pink. And then we got browns, a ton of 310, 4 bags of them in fact, and even some spilled over into this 350 here. So we got a red, some browns, which looks like they're in the leaves. Number 5. Nope, they actually wrapped around the flower. And we got like a peachy orange. We got some greens, of course, for the stem and the leaves. Here we got some of our bright colors that'll come out in the flower. Here's some of those beautiful reds that I saw in that picture. And then the last couple colors, we got another brown here. A minty color, just like my nails. Oh, another ugly brown, 976. Pink and, well, I know that color is not right, 3721. Should be a little bit more I don't remember if it was red. It's a little bit off in color. So then if we just look at this very quickly, you can see here that we got these 5 colors that are going to be more like accent colors. And then going through this color palette here, minus the obnoxious amount of 310s. You can see all of that, and it really starts to show itself at the end here with all these reds and yellows. And then a few up in the front here, but not as many oranges. I really thought that this would have a lot more orange in it, but maybe I'm just remembering it wrong. I swore it almost looked like they were glowing in the dark or something. And a lot of these like off colors, like the purples and stuff that we're seeing, like the K and the W for this one for sure is in the Dragonfly. Same with this bright color here. Oh, I guess not. I'm not even gonna guess. What am I doing? I mean, otherwise it's super pretty. I mean, I'm pretty excited. I'm not really looking forward to all that 310 in the background, but maybe I'll try a multi-placer. It'll be a good one to practice with it on. I guess there's not a whole lot to talk about in this picture. We did the, we went over everything. Oh, I was going to show you the inside of this. Again, this is bubble wrap. So out of all of them, this one was packed the best, since it was in this type of, you know, plastic wrap instead of a box. It does have some nice bubble wrap, and a lot of it's still like poppable. So very well protected, which is really nice. I mean, the only thing is it was wrapped so tightly in there that I will hang this on one of my hangers underneath the rest of the paintings and see if it'll kind of self-flatten. Hopefully I won't have to iron it, but I definitely would not be able to just work on this. It would definitely hold its shape. I've tried before with canvases that feel like this, and it just never seems to work out. It's very thin, and the back is really rough, and it frays super easily. I don't know if you can see that. Probably not with my background, but it does. These ones do tend to fray super easily, so these ones definitely need to have washi tape or something around the edges to protect it. So I'm gonna give a quick pause here while I go over the scoring, and I will come back and let you know how this little beauty fared, and then we'll go from there. Okay, friends, so I have went through my scoring, and I did end up scoring this a 9 out of 10. It was very close, but it did end up losing a couple of points, and I will talk to you about that. I just want to jot that down. I forgot to write it down when I was paused, of course. So it lost a half a point here in the canvas condition, just because it is so bent that if I wanted to, I couldn't just go to work on it without having to do some kind of work to get it flat. And it did take the half a point off. Also, for the packaging, the packing. Now, this one did come in the box with the air wrap, the bubble, the big air pockets with another painting. So it was a little bit protected as far as the outside packaging, but even though it had this really nice bubble mailer, it was so tight in there with this stuff that's ultimately what caused the canvas to get damaged. Not really damaged, but warped, I guess. Impressed. However you'd like to say that. That's the reason why. So overall, I did end up taking a half a point out from each one of those. So 9 out of 10, which is still a really good score. I mean, not everything can be perfect. And, you know, once I'm done with it, it just might make up for itself in that way. I guess we'll find out. So, yeah, I mean, I probably could have went with 9.5, but I felt it was only fair that the canvas condition wasn't that great, and yes, it was a result of the inside packing, but it still could have been packed a little bit better. Oddly enough, I think even though the bubbles were in there, I think had that lining not been there, it would have been enough to stop it from getting, you know, damaged by its own contents. And that's essentially what did it. I've never really been a fan of paintings that are wrapped like this anyway. I don't know. I've seen so many companies do a really good job with packing to where they don't wrap their beads in their toolkits inside, and the paintings end up better for it. So yeah, that's where we are. We got one store left, the QC Life store, and I think that one is gonna go very well. I just have a feeling. I'm being optimistic. I guess we'll never know. And I didn't look at it and cheat in advance, so it's definitely not that. So that's our last store, and then we'll wrap this up, and maybe, hopefully, we'll get some of the other paintings in for the other projects. So this is what it looks like for our last store. The canvas is very different. It's got really nice border on it. It's wrapped just like the other ones, and again, it's another round, and I'm hoping maybe there's some DMCs, but that's kind of a sneak peek hint at what the next canvas is. So we'll take a look at this in the next video, and we'll also wrap up this series, iteration 2, part 2, whatever you want to call it, of Project Amazon, and then we will come back in a couple of months and do another one. So there'll be like 4 total this year, maybe 5, if I decide to go ahead and do the greatest hits, or whatever I decide to do, where I either buy the worst one and the best one and the one that hit in the middle. I don't know. I'll figure out something, but we'll probably do a round of this where I go back and buy from stores that I've already bought from. Because there are some stores that had multiple paintings that I did like. And I don't know if I mentioned it, but this store did have other paintings that you could choose from on their storefront. And I do believe that that's all they sell. I think this was one of the only ones of the 5 that only sold diamond paintings. One of the other ones might have, but I know for sure that this one, that's all they do is sell diamond paintings on Amazon. So all of the paintings will be linked down in the description box. If you want a more detailed explanation of how I use my checklist and my guideline for scoring, that will be linked down in the description box as well. And the only thing it doesn't cover is this 1 point for description accuracy that I borrowed from the overall first impression category. But I've explained it so many times in these Amazon videos that you should know it by now. So alright friends, with that I will let you go. And yes, I'll let you go. Have an awesome day. Have fun diamond painting. Have fun crafting. Have fun doing whatever it is that makes you happy. I love you friends, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.